What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sawbar as part of my Does It Suck series. The Sawbar is a Pearlescent Bandit assault rifle, and it's always going to come in fire element. Beyond that, the weapon has good accuracy at 88.9, a decent fire rate at 5.1, a huge magazine size that also comes with a relatively massive, or not relatively massive, just a flat-out massive reload time. However, because it has a high magazine size, hopefully you won't have to reload it when you're actually fighting enemies. Now, it also has a very unique firing pattern where after a certain distance, the main pellet is going to shoot off 3 pellets that kind of go off in a triangle pattern, with 1 going straight to the right and then 2 going to the left, both at a 45 degree up and 45 degree down angle. And because of that, it does kind of have a maximum potential range and everything like that is relatively far from the player, and it may be difficult to actually get into that range at times. But when we do, it may do, decent damage and everything. I've never really used the Sawbar for anything, and we're going to use it here in combat. This will be my first time using it, so we'll see how we do. Now, I've seen a couple friends use it because it looks pretty and stuff, and it seemed like they were able to kill things with decent speed with it. It definitely wasn't the fastest weapon or anything, but they were killing things with it, so we'll see if we're able to replicate that. I accidentally threw my decoy somewhere where it de-aggroed the enemy, so I apologize for that. But it did go ahead and rip through that bone crusher fairly quickly, and I guess that's good. So we've got slag on that guy now, and we'll try to kill him here. So it's killing enemies fairly quickly. It's doing okay, actually. A little bit better than I expected, to be honest. So that's kind of cool. We'll go ahead and get slag on this guy. So I would like to, get in the range where I think the weapon would be most effective and everything. But it's a little bit hard to do that sometimes when enemies are quick moving, like a lot of these marauders and bandits are. So we'll try to do our best on that, but it can be a little bit difficult to do at times. Blow up a couple barrels before we venture too far into this room here. We'll go ahead and see how we do against this. If you're getting critical hits with the weapon at the, potential maximum range, or the max... I don't know how I want to phrase that, actually. The range at which you have maximum potential, it is doing very well against enemies when we're actually doing it like that. And I do think those extra pellets can crit as well. It would be hard to get the extra pellets to crit consistently because they do come off at a little bit of a weird angle and stuff. But it seems like it's possible, and so I guess that's a good thing. So it's killing some enemies fairly quickly right now. That was obviously a lunatic bomber there, so we had to get away from that grenade that he dropped when he died. Can't believe none of my kunai hit that nomad. But, ooh, so we've got an ironclad here. We'll go ahead and give him some special consideration at this moment. Got my gun reloaded. I think I got him slagged. Obviously, he's weak to fire on his head, and we were able to take him out without too many issues there, so that was good stuff. I always like it when my antagonist decides to slag me, because that means I'm going to be taking a lot of extra damage, and it's sometimes quite irritating. Go ahead and kill that guy. So the Sawbar is doing okay. I would say that it doesn't suck. It's definitely a difficult weapon to use because you have to get to that perfect range to get its maximum potential and everything. But it does have the advantage of killing enemies behind cover, or at least being able to kill enemies behind cover. I guess that's pretty good. So I got slag on those guys via, well-placed Pimpernel shot there. And if we can work through their shields, we should be able to kill them. Just firing the weapon like a normal assault rifle and aiming for heads, and not being in that, potential maximum effectiveness range, it still did okay against that guy. I'm going to try that again here. So that actually works okay as well. So I guess that's pretty cool. I do think it's probably best when you use it you know, at the range at which those extra pellets will be helping you and stuff, obviously. But it's nice to know that it can also do work against enemies that are a little bit closer than that just by actually hitting them in the head. We were able to tear through that one nomad and then the badass nomad as well fairly quickly there, so I guess that's good. Cool. So it looks like the weapon is actually pretty solid. I would have tried to kill that guy with it, but Boar wanted to kill him really badly, so I let it. We're also going to kill some of the enemies in here, but I think you guys are probably getting a feel for more or less how the Sawbar is working right now, which is decent. It's working decently. There is a guy with a damage over time gun in there, so we're going to have to watch out for him. Alright, so this ironclad, obviously only being weak to fire in his head, is giving us a little bit of trouble right now, but we're going to get Slag and Kunai on him right now, and then we're going to try to get him running straight at us again to where we can hit him in that critical spot a few times and he'll die. So that was good. I imagine this weapon would look rather pretty with PhysX, but obviously PhysX is implemented rather horribly and has some performance problems and stuff like that, and I would definitely choose having, you know, a nice locked 120 FPS frame rate than having the game look a little bit prettier. I do really enjoy playing at 120 FPS. I think that's how games should be played. Alright, so we're going to kill the rest of the enemies in this room. Hit that guy with some kunai and we'll kill him. Don't want to get too overextended in here because the enemies will flank me and I can work into a situation that I probably couldn't get out of, and that would be bad news. Don't want to do that. Alright, so we're trying to find an enemy here that will be good to go ahead and Sawbar to death. The ones who volunteer themselves by coming into an area where I can hit them more easily are going to get killed a little bit quicker than the others. Some of these guys are doing a good job at hiding really well, but we're going to kill them nonetheless. Excellent. Luckily, that one nomad has finally signaled these guys to charge, and so that might actually work out really well for me, and I'll be able to kill a few of them at once here, so that was good stuff. That worked out really well, actually. So we're going to go ahead and get Slag on these guys. This guy may get bored to death, and he did. He shouldn't carry that midget on himself. It just makes him a lot more susceptible to boar and chain reaction. Alright, so we're killing enemies. We've got a couple more enemies in this room here. We'll see if we're able to kill this guy. Excellent. Cool. I guess we got one more dude in here. We'll take him out. And sorry. If he's going to be boar bait like that, I'm going to bore him. So I guess that probably gave you a pretty good idea of how the Sawbar works, and I would say that the Sawbar doesn't suck. It's definitely not a top tier weapon by any means, but I don't think it sucks, quote unquote. It definitely did okay. It performed fairly well during that first little section of the Bloodshot Stronghold. I guess I can kill a few more enemies in here because, you know, I was doing okay with the Sawbar so far. Hopefully that guy gets to there and blows himself up. Okay, good. Excellent. What do we got over here?
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Ah, having trouble killing that guy there. Alright, so he's dead. It does do decent damage to crowds of enemies, it looks like, and so that's kind of cool. I like that a little bit. Not too many weapons are great at crowd damage. Obviously, the Pimpernel is, but, you know, there aren't too many others that are super sweet at it. And the Sawbar does okay at that. I assume this weapon would be fairly nice with Maya because she could converge enemies together and hold them at that, you know, special range at which the Sawbar will be most effective, and so that's pretty cool. Alright, killing this guy. It does get a little bit difficult to actually see the enemy you're aiming at with the Sawbar at times. and that's a little bit weird. But, you know, if the enemies are at that range, like that guy was, you'll be able to take them out fairly easily. So I think that is a pretty good demo run for the Sawbar. The answer to does it suck regarding the Sawbar, in my opinion, is a no. I think it did quite alright. It's definitely kind of weird to use, having that awkward range and stuff, but it's a fairly decent weapon, and it's kind of fun to use. So as always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do so. Otherwise, I do hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.